Hi. So our semester is underway, and we've already had a few assignments due. No real math assignments yet, really just some introductory assignments. And I wanted to send you a quick video. I promise I'll try to keep it kind of short. I tend to be pretty long-winded, and I apologize for that. But I wanted to maybe just clarify a couple of things on our Moodle page, and then also a couple of things on MyLabs Plus, just in case any of you are new to MyLabs Plus. So what I have open right now is our Moodle page, and we are all done with week number 1 now, where we just had to, y'all had to send me an email, and there were some instructions in that email to include a contact phone number in case of an emergency. If you go missing, I can try to find you and get you back on track, or anything like that. There was a syllabus quiz, which usually is pretty easy, but not many of you got 100. So I'm going to look back through those and see if there was some bad information in there, and I might be adjusting some of those grades. So I'm sorry if some of those questions were difficult or unclear. I'm going to look back through those, and I did not mean for that to be difficult or tricky. And then discussion board number 1, where we introduced ourselves to the class and included our career goals and a resource that we were going to be using this semester. So if you didn't read your classmates' posts, I encourage you to. I wanted you to be able to see all the different resources that everybody uses. A lot of people that are close to campus use the math tank, but I know for everybody that is not feasible. Some of you work during the day, and we do have somebody that actually lives pretty far away. So some of the other options here were YouTube and Khan Academy. Somebody mentioned that they were going to be using the Nash's online tutoring service, which is math-help at nashcc.edu, and I encourage all of you to try that. Our tutor that I think mans that most of the hours on that is very good with calculus. It's mostly available, I think actually all of the hours are late at night. For those of you who work during the day, I think it's like 8 to midnight. And hopefully you got an email from math-help at nashcc.edu with some instructions on how to get a hold of them and use that service. If you didn't, let me know, and I will send you the instructions. So read your classmates' posts here in discussion board number 1, and look at some of the other options you have for some help. I, of course, would like to be your first point of contact for help because I make all of your tests, and I certainly know the best on what you should be studying and what the most important topics are and exactly how I want you to be doing things. But there are lots of other options as well. So back to the main page. We should now be working on week number 2. The first thing I want to point out is I'm always going to have on here for you to be reading certain sections of the textbook. Some people like to use their textbook. I have found that most people don't. Textbooks don't always say things in the most clear language possible. But there are some people who don't mind reading a textbook, or at least looking things up in the textbook and reading what their textbook has to say. The notes that I have posted are not meant to be standalone notes. If you look at them, they don't have a lot of very detailed text in them. And if you've watched any of the videos yet, you will see that these are actually the notes that I'm writing as I'm doing the video. So these are not meant for you to just print and have standalone notes for the sections. These notes specifically go along with the videos. So the section 2.1 notes, 2.2 notes, 2.3 notes, those are the notes that I made while making the videos that are underneath. There are 4 videos because 2.3 ended up fairly long. When you open these up, you will see that they are kind of long. I don't expect you to sit down and watch the whole entire video in one sitting. And research actually says that you probably shouldn't watch more than about 15 minutes at a time before you take a break, and maybe work on some practice problems, or get up and go take a break, get a snack, get a drink, do something else. But it's easier for me to just go ahead and get the whole thing done, and have all of it here in one video rather than have 12 or 15 different videos posted. And also, if it looks like that's a lot of video time there, I also want to remind you that this is, if you were on campus, you would be in class for 5 hours. So I'm pretty sure that those 4 videos do not add up to 5 hours. So really it's equivalent to what you would be doing if you were on campus. One thing that I've not mentioned before under the section of the things you should complete this week is the section 2.1 to 2.3 video questions. So this is another Padlet, kind of like your first discussion board. And there are some important questions on here. And what these are the important things from the videos. I pulled out some questions, some of the most important things that I'm hoping that you understand after watching the videos, taking notes, or if you prefer reading from the textbook, you can use these as questions to guide you as you're reading the textbook. So one of the most important things you should understand about limits is that first question says, what does the answer to a limit represent? And I answered that question in the videos. The next question says, what does a plus superscript on your target x value mean in a limit problem? And one of your classmates, Tim, has already come in and answered that question. So awesome job, Tim. And if you go across, there's maybe 10 questions here. So what you should do at some point before Tuesday is come in and answer one of these questions. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's 9 questions and there's 8 of us. So you're welcome to answer more than one. And it looks like somebody's going to have to answer more than one. You can answer 3 or 4 of them if you want. I don't want one person answering all of them, though. We want a mixture. If you ever come in and all of the questions are answered, then that's fine. Then don't worry about it. But I don't want to get to the end of the week and have questions that have not been answered. What we're trying to do here is answer these questions in as simple terms as possible. We don't want to copy textbook definitions because a lot of times those textbook definitions are very confusing. We want these just in as plain English as possible. And this is like just to help out our classmates, to help us out, to help us process the information of what kind of the most important things are to pull out of those videos. And if we split the work up amongst us, we each do a few, it'll be less work for all of us. And then we'll keep this up. That way, if we ever have to refer back to it, we've got all of this here for us to look back on. So Tim's already done one for us. Great job, Tim. And if you ever want to add something to somebody's explanation, you can. So underneath, even though Tim's already done that second one, there's still a plus button there at the bottom. You could add more. If you had more to add to it, you certainly could. And that would be fine. So this is there as well in week number 2. And also for, this is all under for Tuesday. It also says homework number 1 in MyLabs Plus. And I'm going to go to that here in just a second. Now, we also have something due for Friday in week number 2. There's no reading, there's no videos. But by Friday, you do need to identify a proctor. And if you're having trouble with that, please contact me. If you click on that link, there is more information. of how to find one. If you're going to use the math tank, or excuse me, not the math tank, the Math Assessment Center, you will see there is more information under this link that says you still need to identify the Math Assessment Center as your proctor. There is a problem set here to do. MyLabs Plus is a great tool to get immediate feedback on how you're doing and if you're understanding. But a lot of students I have learned over the years of using MyLabs Plus tend to get in this rut of try an answer, it didn't work, try another one, it didn't work, try another one, it didn't work, hit the help me solve it button, kind of memorize the steps that they're doing, and then repeat the steps they're doing until you get it right, and you get it right and you move on, but you really have no idea what you just did. So I don't think that's very helpful sometimes. There's some things in MyLabs Plus where you can continually get really good grades on your homework without fully understanding what you're doing. So like I had said in the welcome video, we are going to have some handwritten homework. So I wanted to get you started with one right away so that you understand how this is going to work. So if you click on that problem set number 1 on limits, it's just a variety of limit problems similar to the ones you saw in MyLabs Plus. The only difference is you need to write these out and show your work, and then submit your work and answers to that submission link. And how you submit them, there's lots of different ways. You can take pictures with a cell phone. You can take pictures with a document cam or with a camera on your computer or your laptop. You can fax them to me. If you need the fax number, let me know. You can scan it and attach a PDF file. Also, a lot of phones nowadays, there's like a I forget what people, cam scan, I think, is an app a lot of people have for taking pictures, and it turns it into a PDF file. If you come to campus regularly, you're more than welcome to just bring your homework to me. But if you're concerned about that, if you're concerned about turning in handwritten work, again, just get a hold of me and we will figure out a way to do it. And I'll help you out with that. So this stuff is due for Friday. Filling out that proctor identification form and then doing that handwritten set of limits. So this is the work due for this week. And then either tonight or tomorrow, week number 3 will pop up here at the bottom, all the stuff for week number 3. I can't let you get too far ahead because within the past year or so, Nash Community College has implemented an attendance policy. So we have to make sure that our students, even our online students, are working on something every single week. And one of the concerns with the online classes is if we posted too many weeks in advance and people got too far ahead, you could potentially get all your week number 1, 2, 3, and 4 work done and then just kind of disappear for a couple weeks. And do nothing for a couple weeks, and they didn't want that to happen. They needed every student to be working on something every single week. So I'll have week number 3 up either tonight or tomorrow, even though you still have all this week number 2 stuff to do through midnight on Friday. But if you ever have any questions about anything, please do not hesitate to ever call me or email me. And I am happy to help you with even the most minute details of any of this stuff. Whether it's computer technical things or simple math things, or just I can't find something on Moodle and I think it's supposed to be there, or your pop-up blocker is on and something is not coming up that's supposed to be coming up. I've been teaching online classes for a really long time, so I've heard all of these crazy things and figured out most of them. So the other thing I wanted to show you really quick, I promise you this wouldn't be long, is MyLabs Plus, because this week you have a MyLabs Plus assignment due. on 2.1 through 2.3. So I really encourage you to watch those videos first and take your own notes. My notes are not the greatest. I tend to be really sloppy and jump all around and highlight things and erase things. But keep your own set of notes, add your own little descriptions. Sometimes I say a lot, but I don't write it all down. So I would keep your own notebook of notes based on those videos. So once you've watched those videos, you want to go to My Labs Plus, and the first time you log in, you're going to have to either type in the access code that came with your textbook, or tell them that you're going to type it in later, or pay with your credit card or debit card to get access. If you tell it that you want to pay later, it'll give you, I think, 2 weeks to get your access code. So you may have some other classes listed here if you're taking chemistry or physics or something else that uses My Labs Plus. So we're going to click on calculus. And we have just one assignment available right now, but you'll have another assignment posted here tonight or tomorrow on the second half of chapter 2. And if we go into this assignment, if for some reason that assignment disappears, you can always go here on the side and click on homework, and everything will always be in there as well. I've had some people in the past where they work on the homework for a little while and then it disappears from that box on the home page. So you can always go under the homework. We are going to have a couple of tests on My Labs Plus. So when we do, it should come up in that box, but if you don't see it, it'll be under quizzes and tests. You can look at your grades under the grade book. And then the default is to only show your grades for like the past month. So you'd want to do this little drop down and show all of your grades for the entire course to date as we get farther into the semester. The chapter contents, there is a student solutions manual, and that little person with the line through it means it's hidden from you guys right now, so I will fix that. There's actually here an ebook, so you can view an electronic version of your textbook here in My Labs Plus under the chapter contents. The multimedia library has a lot of resources as well. If you go to a specific chapter, so we're working in chapter 2 right now, and let's just say for section 3, you can look at PowerPoints. If you like PowerPoint notes, you can look at the PowerPoint notes that the textbook provides for this section. And you can print those off and have a set of PowerPoint notes that goes along with section 2.3. Or you can look at some videos. Usually those are videos of people working out examples. They're not videos of people lecturing or people giving you notes on how to do things. They're usually videos of people doing examples. So they've got that for the entire textbook. And let me go back to Course Home, and I'm going to open up, I'm going to show you one more thing. If we go into this homework assignment, there's 22 problems. I'm going to go into the first problem. And a lot of these problems have some question helps over here in the corner. So if you have no idea how to do this, the first thing you should do is you should look in your notes and see if we did anything even remotely similar in the videos or you have written down in your notes. If you still are at a complete loss, there are some options for help. If you click on Help Me Solve This, My Labs Plus is going to help you work through this exact problem. And then when you're done, it's going to change your problem and make you do a different one. If you click on View an Example, My Labs Plus is going to help you work through a similar problem. And then when it's done doing that, it'll bring you back to the same problem to do it. If there is a video available, it's going to pull up the video from the multimedia library of somebody else working a similar problem to this. If you click on Textbook, all it's going to do is it's going to open up the e-text to the section where this is covered. Connect to a tutor. That is brand new, I think, within the last couple semesters. I'm not quite sure what that is going to do. I think it goes to, what's it called? I think it goes to Smart Thinking, which Nash Community College pays for a subscription for our students to be able to use Smart Thinking. Ask My Instructor will send me an email with a screenshot of this question. So that is not like an immediate help. It will just let me know through an email that you need help with this problem, and it will send me a screenshot of this exact problem. So when I get that email, I can reply and help you with it. You can also print your homework if you prefer to work all of this stuff out on paper and have like printouts of all your questions. I strongly encourage you to work these problems out on paper and keep your work and keep it nice and neat, because when it comes time to take a test, I am going to pull all of your test questions from your homework. So if you've done all your homework and you made sure that you did all of your homework correctly and you understood it, then those homework problems and all of that work that you kept nice and neat is going to be the best place to start studying for your test. So don't just kind of scribble down. Don't just scribble down your work in random places and then throw it away. I would keep it nice and neat in your math notebook. Make a spot for it. Homework number 1, problem number 1. If you notice over here in the, not there, over here in the corner, it's 2.1.19. That tells you what chapter and section it came from, and then what problem it is similar to in the textbook. So that's a good identifier for the problem as well. That is unique to this problem. So you could even write homework number 1, 2.1.19, and there will not be another problem labeled that anywhere. If you do use the question helps, because you're not sure how to do the problem, I strongly encourage you to, after you use the question helps and get it right, to work the problem again and continue working similar problems until you can work it all by yourself without any help. That's how you know that you truly understand it. The goal here is not to get 100. The goal here is to understand these problems, because we want to do well on the test. And the test doesn't have any question helps on it. And then once you enter your answers, we can just hit next, move along, and some of these some of them are pretty quick and easy. There's some multiple choice problems that don't require any computation. Some of them have quite a few parts to them. Most of them should look very, very, very familiar to examples that I did in the videos. All of them have something similar to a textbook problem. So if you have a textbook, you can look up similar problems in the textbook. And again, I will make that student solutions manual visible, so you can at least see the similar problems in the book and then what the solutions are for the book and compare. So again, yes, we want to get 100 on our homework. That's an easy 15%, but it won't help us out in the long run on our tests, which are 50%, if we don't understand what we're doing. So if you need to use these question helps, why isn't it opening? This problem might not have any question helps because I'm clicking it and it's not opening. So not every problem has question helps. And some of the problems that do have question helps only have a few of them and not all of them. But whatever ones are available, I have turned on for you. And if you have any trouble on the homework whatsoever, please email me. The math tank opens this week. Tomorrow is Monday, August 21st. the day of the eclipse. The math tank will be open starting tomorrow, and the math-help at nashcc.edu is available every single night. You could email them as well. There's lots of options for help. Go back and watch the videos. If you know what section the problem is coming from, you can skim through the video and look for some similar exercises that I did that look similar to the problem that you're being asked to work. And just make sure that if you're having trouble, you are reaching out and getting help. And let me, while I have this open, I'm going to go ahead and make sure that you guys can see. I think it's going to take too long. I want to make sure that you guys can see that Student Solutions Manual there. Okay, so your Student Solutions Manual should be visible now. So y'all have a great night. Work hard and keep in contact, and let me know if you need anything, if you need any help. And hopefully I will talk to you all soon. Have a great night.